Assalamu alaikum. Good morning, everybody. Just about cyber. Okay. Everybody is talking cyber these days. It's a very interesting topic, especially for supply chain, actually. We'll talk about the introduction about the cyber and the risk coming out and the solutions. I'm MOHAMAD ALKHUDARI, the CEO of GreenCircle, a cyber solution company. First, what's cyber? Why is cyber? Okay, so this is the first point. We need to get something out of, what's the difference between information security or data security and cyber security? Anybody, have an answer for this? Okay, so let's start with cyber. So first thing is, today, the challenge is coming out of really unseen technologies, the new technologies, the people, the social media, all the new technologies is making a challenge for us today. Okay? So when we're talking about cyber, we are talking about, the outer vision of the security. We're talking about the impact of social media, the impact about your brand, the impact of, having news in different way of the technology, of the Internet of Things, of your reputation on the Internet, deep web, dark web. Okay, so this is all new trends. Were not impacting the technology before. Today, a company could impact big time because somebody make a bad news, fake news, about it in the social media, right? So nothing done wrong by the information officer or the security officer of the company, but still the company is impacted, okay? So you need to think about securing your data and network, but today you need to think how you secure your name, how you secure your brand, how you secure your everything outside your company. So this is, again, about cyber protection of the organization. Okay, and when we are talking about cyber, we are talking about access management, we are talking about user security, we are talking about data security, we are talking about end user security, about your third-party supplier security. There is enough complexity in the cyber security world, actually, because especially when we're talking about securing and complicated systems, where there is a third-party suppliers, there is a manufacturers, there is a big data, there is Internet of Things today, there is a lot of sensors. All these systems talked about, my friend now just explained many systems that's based on database. Everything on there in the database, right? On the store, on the logistics. So we are talking about two complicated, actually, technologies. One is the supply chain management with all the life cycle of the product from the manufacturer to the end user. And we are talking about a big and complicated technologies in the cyber vision, on the cyber security, about a lot of points. So in the introduction, we're talking about this. This is a very fundamental, is that everybody wants to feel secure, okay? And we are talking again about digitization and moving to digital world, about moving to the next step after the supply chain management, right? Moving to a full supply chain automation and robotics, 3D printing. We are talking about full dependency on the data, right? And what if this data breached? What if somebody changed this data, changed the amount of quantities of your store, okay? So this is really a huge risk, and this is actually a killing point for all these technologies, okay? So we're talking about, you need to feel comfortable when talking about, and I give an example why we have a brake, in our cars. So everybody is saying, okay, we need the brake to stop. Actually, you need the brake to speed up. If you need to speed up with the technologies, with the digitization, you need to feel comfortable. So if you don't feel comfortable, you'll not speed up with your car. If you don't feel that you can stop it, you'll not go with high speed. So this is the cyber security. You don't expect that with enough trust that your system will protect your data, your customer data, that you can deploy this system, okay? And again, the cyber attacks is today in a different level completely. My first installations of cyber solutions, I mean end-to-end cyber solutions, including endpoints, protecting of database, application, web, mobile applications, were first thing on a supply chain or shipment companies and logistics companies, because there is a lot of transactions, there is a lot of data, Visa cards, stock, valuable things in the shipment, and actually attackers are day and night behind these shipments because it's making money. So either he steal the customer data, financial data, or he will steal the data from the warehouse, or he change the address. They are spoofing on the emails. There is social engineering to make customer believes that he's dealing with someone from the e-commerce company or he's dealing with somebody else. So all this risk put us in actually big risk. And there is a lot of major attacks happened worldwide, which cost hundreds of millions. You know, the last one happened with Maersk, right? This affected like 20,000 machines all at once. So number of, you cannot imagine with the especially large companies with the large number of shipments, we're talking about, systems that will automate, 4,000, 20,000, 30,000 number of shipment, right? You cannot analyze, precisely what's happening. Is it a real user? Somebody is playing with the data center, especially with this amount of, of data that's generated out of the systems, especially with automation. So the new technologies, security of the new technologies, we have many standards worldwide, including the first one was done by NIST, the National Institute of Standard in the US. So they bought the standards, especially focused on how you secure or how you make standards for even your third parties, your core system, and with the key government entities. So government want to make sure that you are running with a compliance. You want to make sure you are not get hacked through your third-party suppliers or logistics or or customers. You want to make sure you are not breached because of one of your employees. Somebody left you, went to another competitor, right? Somebody misbehave and give a username, password. So maybe you'll put a lot of systems, firewalls, threat intelligence, a lot of cybersecurity investment companies made. Then you don't, protect the human factor. So somebody will easily just give a password or some hacker or someone on the internet through a social engineering or through any way of communication, then all these systems is useless. He will access your database, then, this is unlimited risk. So the new technologies, again, the new standards and compliance are made of the three components: how we secure the humans, how we make the right process and procedures that even if we have a leak on the data or somebody just give his password, how we can protect our database. So there is a new technology called, for example, database access management. Then there is a web application firewall. And there is something we call, because of the process procedures we are using, a human firewall. So there is a lot of systems and process and procedures needs to be taken care. It's not only network security. The common thing I see everywhere in the most of the companies, they think network security, firewall, and antivirus. This is not a cybersecurity. Actually, this is very important, but this is actually 20% of the cyber solution that we need. So the risk coming out from the IT-enabled supply chain management solutions is categorized on the three levels, again, to the web and application security, to the database security, and to the network and communication security. This is from system point of view, from architectural point of view. The additional risk coming from something we call industrial security. This is a new cybersecurity domain. Industrial security is where we secure the programmable interface, PIC, PLC, the industrial controllers that is coming from different industrial companies running on SCADA, running on PLC, running on controlling system, not on IP based. This is additional, very important to be considered. Today there is an additional firewall that's protecting the programmable interfaces. So there is an industrial security, or we call operational security, coming to the supply chain management, factories, and automation. Again, Internet of Things, or Internet in supply chain, is more of something we call Internet of Everything. Internet of Everything, where everything has a sensor. Yesterday, the guys talk about having thousands and hundreds of sensors in each and every stage of the factory. What if, again, somebody changed the sensor? And this is actually a real world scenarios. Somebody get into a sensors and change the values. It will stop everything. And the damage could be very, very, very serious. Okay? Okay, so again, example of risks. Risks on the supply chain trending, market data transaction system could be hacked. Another six kind of risk coming on the on the retail or distribution, loss of data, loss of customer financial data. Again, considering this, the solution, I'm going to talk about the solutions that's more about supply chain solution for different layers. So we're talking about first layer. Again, we have the three factors: human, technology, process, and procedures. But before that, we need to have the right strategy. You cannot drive a cybersecurity without the right strategy. And the right strategy is not built by IT team, by the way. It's not an IT strategy, it's a business strategy. So business strategy, what we call a security architecture approach, should put a clear maturity model to assist how you will automate your systems, how you will digitize your transactions, how this life cycle of supply chain management or the new automation tools are really fit with your vision. So cybersecurity vision today is the first vision that must be in place before deploying any system. And here there is a security operations center which will monitor all the activities. This is a must for large supply chain companies. Okay. Again, after defining the right strategy, you will define the right responsibilities of people. Again, cybersecurity should not, and by standards, compliance will not be under the IT department. The Cybersecurity Monitoring and Compliance Center should comply and monitor on the IT. You need to make sure that your database administrator has no rights over your database. He's the administrator to build your information, but the rights, the access on your data, on your automation, on your factory, needs to build on a right way, okay? So this is coming out of vision, then inherited to a people responsibilities, accountability matrix, okay? Out of that accountability, where you build your accountability on IT teams, on governance, risk, compliance team. Again, supply chain really is more complicated than a bank, because you have third-party suppliers, and you are dealing already with financial transactions. You are a bank, and when a customer loses his financial data or his shipment, he will not stop dealing with the bank. He will stop dealing with the e-commerce or supply chain, okay, management company. So the first one will be impacted is the e-commerce side. Again, so the right governance, risk, compliance needs to be in place. The second thing is that you need to then build what is required from your infrastructure. The issue is that security or security people, when there is an attack, fire, 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 there is an attack, come buy this equipment, there is this vendor, very good, nice vendor, then you need to buy threat intelligence, then there is a threat hunting, and there is then something new, you need to buy dynamic deception, something, right? And network micro-segmentation. There is a lot of technologies. In a single bank, we are selling more than 35 different topics of security. So this is a bleeding, and actually it's not solving the thing. After you're buying all this, somebody will say, you are hacked, but it's not out of our system. It's because somebody in your team did something wrong. Okay, so actually we're looking for a real solution that makes confidence of. So actually the solutions, I'll go directly to putting a vision. We go through a process. First, you need to know how much you are going to invest. the cybersecurity companies thinks because of the risk that you are going to pay everything you save, all the profit you're doing, they are partner in. But actually, doing the right, what we call zero trust architecture. The zero trust architecture built on isolating the systems. You need to first do something called whitelisting. There is systems that you need to have a limited access to, and then you start from there. Because building a real security on a heterogeneous system that has on automations, controllers, database, web, there is a core things that need to be done anyway. Okay, then there is managed SLA services that you need to give to a partner or third party, which will make the compliance, the auditing. You need to measure your maturity. We do attacks sometimes. We do attack ourselves to make sure we are capable to protect ourselves. Okay, then we deploy based on this vision and mission. We deploy the right technologies based on the process and procedures we have. So again, I don't want to go into deep technical cybersecurity topics, but it's all built with the right vision. Okay, so this is the point. I'm okay also to have any question about any components, including the different components on the cybersecurity. But there is a point to start. There is NIST. There is SANS, top 20 control. There is the different vendors who are doing visioning and the right strategy, maturity model of the cybersecurity. Then you need to protect. Anyway, you need to protect all your users. You need to have the right process and procedures that's ready to be deployed. You need to have a right tools to protect your data, access management, backup strategy, policies and procedures for employees accessing that data, and the right capacity building. Capacity building, the human factor is very important because it's impacting what we call the human firewall, impacting everything. If you cannot trust the people who are working with you, who are running your system, then this is a really big risk on your organization. So this is actually built with audit and assurance, built with the process and procedures, built with all the right vision building. So again, I'm not going to go deeper on this. So I'm giving such an examples on different security services were done on different layers. For example, on the database, there is something called data access management. This is a very important technology. On the application, it's a must that each and every application you're having to have vulnerability assessment and penetration testing plus code review. You cannot trust third-party code that there is something malicious inside your code, inside your programs, which is doing activities, malicious activities inside your systems. In addition, example about social media security, about detection of your reputation on social media. There is a tool we are using today that's detecting if somebody is using your name, your products, your data on the dark web or in the social media. So, you don't want to be the last one to know, because sometimes this will hurt you. We know many, chief information security officers who lost their job because of news on the internet that they are hacked while they are not. Okay? So now protecting your name, protecting your reputation on the internet is very important part of the solution. That's all. I'm not going to, but again, the drivers of cybersecurity in supply chain still is really because they are big impacted by the attackers. There is a lot of attackers now targeting the logistics, the warehouse, the e-commerce, the mobile applications, because actually they are making money. This is a good driver. Second, you need to comply with the different compliance that is more associated with the cybersecurity, supply chain cybersecurity issues, including NIST, including the regulations that's coming per country, including GDPR by European Union, which is directly impacting all supply chain companies about who are their partners, what they are dealing with, all this compliance. And actually, it's impacting. There is a lot of fines coming out of European unions on different companies because of the compliance of the GDPR and the announcing of the parties that they are sharing the customer information with. Okay, so very important. Again, is the compliance point about how we will comply with this international standards, which is impacting us, whether we want or no, actually. So any question? I have 5 minutes just for questions or any clarifications on this. That's all.
Now, we are talking about supply chain cyber. Is this something different from the overall company cybersecurity protection? Because what I have seen in these slides, as you are talking about the overall company's security, is there something specific for supply chain?
And we spoke about 2 new technologies that's impacting the supply chain and is, yes, specific. The industrial security, which is making security on the machines itself. So people will not control your controllers, PLCs, right? And this is very, very specific for this. It's not found in any other, banks or others. And there is the specific compliance on the supply chain, including SOX compliance. Again, we started with also the consulting. We said we need to build the right vision, security architecture. We believe the security architecture per customer is different again. So this is the point. Okay, thank you. We are available for any questions. Thank you.